project with Highway Africa. The African continent is able to see what is being done, and the entire media community, workers and organizations have an opportunity to learn about and also participate in this media revolution. And with any high-profile competition, ladies and gentlemen, it's vitally important to have the right people at the helm, the people who ensure that all elements are taken into consideration, and the same people also need to ensure that the integrity of the process is never in question. And I've got to tell you, the adjudication process of this year's edition of the Highway Africa Awards was left in the very capable hands of our panel of experienced and respected judges. Let's take a look.
I think that this year is very interesting. First, it's the 10th year anniversary of Highway Africa. Highway Africa is now a teenager. But with regard to the innovative awards for new media, we've also seen a dramatic development, even more cutting-edge use of the technology, more innovative and entry of various forms. Most people seem now to absolutely understand how to deal with this medium and also what things to include in a very comprehensive fashion. It's very, very important to understand that to be a winner in the Highway Africa Innovative Awards, the website needs to be quite clear, it must load fast, it must have a creative design where people can navigate the information quite clearly. It must have interactive features. In other words, people must not only be able to download or take information and read information, they must be able also to interact with the information by adding to the information and dealing with those behind the kind of information. So it's a multi-dimensional site in a sense. Also use images, use African symbols. Understand that in Africa we have low bandwidth and that people do not have a lot of money necessarily to spend on a website if they access it through internet cafes, for example. And also pushing the envelope, like these people that are now using blogs, enter those, a variety of information. It doesn't have to be media information, it doesn't have to be information about ICTs, anything and everything on the African continent, but information that can empower people to better their lives.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fair to say that when faced with the caliber of our finalists here tonight, it must have been an enormous task just to try and determine tonight's winners. And all the finalists are certainly worthy of their places at the forefront of their categories. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to introduce to you our selection panel, and those are the men and women tasked to bring to the fore the very best in the realm of media innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, our revered panel of judges. We begin with the head of the School of Literature, Languages and Media Studies at the University of the Witwatersrand, Professor Tawana Kupe. If you could be upstanding so we can see you. The head of information technology for the humanities faculty at the University of the Witwatersrand, Dinesh Balia. And having joined the Department of Journalism and Media Studies as a Mellon Research Scholarship winner in June of this year, our final judge this evening, Dr. Lillian Dagam.
Thank you once again to all our judges for giving so much of their valuable time, energy, and expertise. Highway Africa is the proverbial roundtable where journalists from across the African continent can be trained and guided into the effective use of new media technologies. Highway Africa is a key networking environment where vital links are made not only amongst journalists themselves, but also amongst key policymakers and other members of the civil society. The destiny of media delivery no longer lies in the hands of the adults, but lies firmly in the hands of tomorrow's leaders. Tonight we celebrate, in true African style, the future direction of media innovation and the young people who'll mold its path.
Technology is changing very quickly at the moment, and it seems to be changing quicker and quicker as time goes by. So the change over the last 10 years is about realizing that shoveling content from one platform to another is no longer good enough. And that change is only just starting to happen now. So for instance, the youth market are using different technologies like SMS, Mix-It, those type of technologies. They're not using what one would normally expect them to use. The future is probably something that is highly unpredictable at this point. I think that the biggest market is going to be the youth market of today. There'll be the adult market tomorrow, and they're going to have completely different usage patterns to what we're expecting. They're using cell phones for video, they're using it for SMS, they're sharing videos, and they're becoming media producers. That's the big thing that's happened now, is that everybody is a media producer. You may have a camera, but so does everyone else. It's on their cell phone. The question is, who's teaching these young people who are producing media ethics, for instance? Who's teaching them what is the right thing to be showing on their mobile phones and sharing with their friends? So in a sense, everyone needs a journalism degree in the future, just as a sort of piece of cultural capital that they can work with. Anybody in Africa who's getting into new media now and who is a pioneer in their mind, or they're an innovator, needs to take the attitude that the technology will work for them, and not that they should be afraid of the technology. There's nothing scary about technology at all. It's completely accessible. The key thing here is the attitude, and the attitude must be that we will not allow ourselves to become slaves to the technology. We will use this technology to the best of our ability, and that's all you have to do in order to succeed in this world at the moment.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, accompanying our featured artist tonight, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, let's give a warm welcome to the Grahamstown Township Dance Project as they groove to the legendary pop tune Mkomboti.
Wematamini, Mkomboti. Wematamini, Mkomboti. Wematamini, Mkomboti. Wematamini, Mkomboti.
I work hard every day to make my pay.
Mkomboti.
Wake up early every morning to please my people with African beer.
Mkomboti. 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 Mkomboti.
I make sure the fire burns to make my beer.
Mkomboti.
My special beer, Mkomboti.
Mkomboti.
It's African beer. Let's give them a big hand, guys. Everybody, come and drink my magic beer. Everybody, come and drink my African beer. Whoa. I work hard to make them happy every weekend. Make them party to the rhythm. Make them dance this magic beer. I wanna make them happy. I wanna make them smile. I wanna make them dance, dance. I'll make sure there's a party when they drink a special beer. Mkomboti is magic beer.
Mkomboti.
It's African beer.